Good evening, and we begin tonight with, again, this desperate situation in the Philippines. As of now, the good news is 33 nations have joined in the relief operation, pledging almost $100 billion so far. But the problem increasingly is getting there with help, with supplies, with people, and then fanning out. New pictures show the area we've been concentrating on, the city of Tacloban, before and after this typhoon. And pictures taken at the airport just today show the crush of people, all victims, all awaiting an airlift out of there, or in some cases, just fresh water or food. We're going to begin tonight with the reporting of Dr. Nancy Snyderman, who today traveled by chopper to an area on the eastern edge of the Philippines that we so far have not seen since the storm. And the people there are so desperate. As you'll see, our crew was concerned their helicopter would be mistaken for a relief flight when it landed and quickly surrounded.
There's a sense of desperation, and we don't have any protection. So obviously we're assessing how vulnerable we are.
The town of Tanawan is almost gone. It is a place that for the most part has escaped the world's attention. It is foodless, waterless, and increasingly lawless.
We're making a group decision right now whether this is safe enough for us to proceed or not.
Okay, thank you. So we decided to stay away from the crowds and touch down in a remote spot.
Everyone's saying that they need food and water. And this area looks more devastated to me than anything we've seen in Tacloban.
Immediately, we were surrounded.
Everybody here has told me that the American doctors are at a clinic down here, so these good people are going to show us the way. So we sat down, we're thronged by very nice, kind people who basically said they have buried so many, they're hungry, they're thirsty, and then a man came forward and offered us a ride, and it happens to be a policeman named Raul. So Raul right now is taking us into town where we believe there are American doctors who've set up a MASH unit.
And then we find it. City Hall, badly damaged, and now functioning as the local hospital.
Guys, can I get that set of gloves up?
Inside, American doctors and veterans from across the country are feverishly working. Wooden desks serve as operating room tables and flashlights as overhead lights.
I've never been in a war, but this is what I imagine it's like.
Patients are everywhere,
How's she feeling?
including
She okay?
this elderly woman who had her leg amputated yesterday.
I'm sorry.
The work is nonstop.
Sorry?
Doctors haven't slept in 4 days.
To fix this, the surgeons are going to have to clean it up.
Upstairs, Dr. Sarah May from Seattle treats an 8-year-old girl whose leg was cut by flying debris.
Unfortunately, we've been doing procedures like this every day. We let them wake up, we dress the wound, we give them the 1 day of antibiotics that we have, and all we can do is have them come back.
What's up there?
Just have them come back.
Have them come back the next day.
You need Cipro, Keflex, ketamine.
Antibiotics, anesthetics, even dressings are in short supply.
We're cutting our dressings into 24 one towel. We're cutting into 24 dressings so that we have enough rations to get through, but we need some supplies quickly.
For those who have survived, the challenges of putting life back together are just beginning.
And after her day at that MASH unit, Dr. Nancy Snyderman is back at base camp tonight in Cebu in the Philippines. And Nancy, let's start with what's behind you. And this is very common. We saw it in Katrina. We saw it in Haiti. This is a two-stage thing. The aid arrives on big pallets, but getting it out to people is another thing entirely. So my questions are, how did those American doctors get to that outpost in the first place? And now how do we get that list of supplies you reeled off? How do we get all of that to them?
Well, you're right about the supplies around me. They're basically canned meat, sardines, and rice. And this is a lot like a human body. The big arteries are open, but then this stuff sort of stockpiles in the capillaries to the people. That's the tough part. So the doctors were quite ingenious. They were on their way for a 5-day medical mission to Mexico, heard about this, rerouted, got to Hong Kong and then Cebu, and the military on C-130s took them down to Tacloban and then left them there. They then put their supplies on cars and jeeps. A lot of them walked. They heard about this town that basically the world hadn't been reporting, found City Hall, and this is Mammoth Medical Mission, and they are a bunch of doctors from around the country, but based out of the United States, and I have to say, saving lives and doing heroic work. But here's the problem. Because they packed for a 5-day end-to-end medical mission, they're leaving on Friday, and they don't know if anyone's coming in to take their places. These are normal working doctors, and they have day jobs to go back to on Monday.
Well, you're right. That's going to be the problem throughout the Philippines and getting those arteries of supplies open. Dr. Nancy Snyderman, thank you for your reporting from there today and tonight.
Brian.
In this country,